Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Roger Guerrero, and this is Political Headache. This afternoon, I'm with Joachim. Joachim, how are you feeling, by the way? Do you know, I've never asked Joachim what exactly he's trying to achieve with Jimmy Wanjigi and being the SG. And what is interesting to me, and I want to ask Odhiambo this. Odhiambo, before now you answer, I want to ask Odhiambo, what is Wanjigi's game plan? Because he's run away from his brother, Wamunyoro. He's taken off. And he's not in any association with them.
They've not been together with Wamunyoro.
Yes, but what is he trying to achieve? Is it in a punda ya tatu ama ni punda gani?
Mergers and acquisition. Businessmen think in terms of mergers and acquisition. And whatever he's looking for is basically a merger somewhere and an acquisition somewhere. So, of course, he'll join one of these wagons. There'll only be two wagons in 2027. And that will be the United Opposition and the government. And most probably, he'll join the government. Most probably.
Hey.
Your first question was...
I didn't say Ruto, I said the government, please.
And I've not even said anything.
I can see his response already.
But your first question was about...
how you're feeling.
One, how I'm feeling okay. And the second question is, what am I trying to achieve?
Do you know why I'm asking what your feelings are? Because when the Gen Z came out into the streets and poured into the streets, they really shook the foundations of this government. And this government, I think without them inviting Raila into their camp, they would have had a lot of trouble, especially given the stones that Wamunyoro was throwing. I was talking to the Yamba and I asked him in the morning, what is going on? The Gen Zs that poured in the streets and are hell-bent on removing Ruto have not gone ahead and taken the vote, have not participated in the voter registration. 90,000 out of a possible 5.4 million. So the reason why I'm asking how you're feeling is a lot of people have a feeling that Ruto is suddenly getting it easy. And even going by his last statement, he said that the only person that would stand before him in a general election is Raila Odinga. And now that he's deceased and he's not standing anymore, he thinks that it's going to be a walk in the park. So that's how I'm calling. I'm not talking about your well-being.
From the beginning, let me now answer the question before I address you, the intention as to why you asked.
Yeah.
My being at Safina is the same reason as every other political party out there. Every political party is formed with one intention, to take power. And I am of the same caliber. But in this political party, our intention is to take power. The only difference is what we do with power once we get it. Our imagination of a country and the things we can do to get there, we've already started talking about them. And your question of the Gen Zs, the Gen Zs came out because they felt that the government, being led by William Ruto, is taking away their sweat. And the finance bill was a trigger that you are coming to pick everything that we are surviving on. And today, as you've mentioned, they have not registered as they should have. They should be doing. And the government was cunning and clever, even at the onset of registration. I know Kenyans are very sensitive people. And there is something about private data and William Ruto putting things in place to rig elections. So even the scanning of the iris on that first day of registration was intentional to send fear among the people coming to register. Let me explain. What is the story that came out of the scanning of the iris? Is that by scanning of the iris, they are going to access a lot of your data and they are going to have it. So Kenyans who do not understand a lot of things out there are saying, hey, mimi sita register. Again, points of registration. Where are they? In police officers' camp, at the police stations area. Naturally, Kenyans don't like being around police stations. And again, distance. But I think Gen Zs are still Kenyans, and Kenyans love last minute. I am inclined to think that at the last minute, even the government will be forced to extend for a few more days because the lines will be long. You know, Kenyans are now thinking to register miezi sita. Bwana, wewe uko na haraka gani? Miezi sita ni mingi. So, and Ruto coming to say that in the absence of Raila, he's going to have a walk in the park. He doesn't see anyone he can compete with. He's forgetting that it's even harder without Raila Odinga. You know, the only person since the inception of this country who can compromise his own ambition for the better of the country was Raila alone. If it happens that President Ruto plays abracadabra with the elections, there is no one who will extend a handshake to calm the country. The person who could extend a hand to shake the president and the country calms is in Bondo. So he should tread very carefully. And he's not coming in an election to compete with anyone. He's competing with his own track record. And the track record we have set before his own eyes. And I'm sure if President Ruto watches all his speeches during the campaign and watches how he's running the country as president, he will conclude that he should be a one-term president. Because the things he said and the things he's doing are a complete opposite.
Odhiambo believes that there should be a fundamental change of the constitution if we are to go on, or if we are to move on, post-Raila. And he's talking about a sort of a referendum. And I want to ask him, but the first question I want to ask Odhiambo is, why is Ruto saying that without Raila, winning the election is a walk in the park? Because they had a broad-based government, and as a matter of fact, during the burial of Raila Odinga, many people from ODM came out and said that the standing instruction left behind by Raila Odinga is that we are supposed to be in the broad-based government until 2027. So it is a bit confusing if the people and if the pact that Ruto had with Raila was that you are my supporter to 2027. Because I'm not sure what 2027 means. 2027 means actually to the election day. So I was wondering at what point was he going to leave to start going against him politically.
Look at this. You know, when these people say that we are only in this until 2027.
Yes.
Campaigns for president who will rule after 2027 will begin next year.
Yes.
Which means the ODM party will contribute in campaigning for President Ruto.
And that is the confusion that I'm getting.
So how do you say that we are only in this until 2027 when you will be part of his campaign tool until 2027?
Can we ask Odhiambo to chime in?
Yes.
I don't know where to start.
The starting point.
Start with from the beginning.
What I want to ask him is why did Ruto say that it is only Raila that would mount a proper challenge against him in 2027. And with Raila out of the picture, then it is a walk in the park. Why was he saying that? Because the question that I think is confusing is, this is a man that is already put in his bag. So why is he talking about him as a challenger?
I shared with you a few months ago,
Yes.
on one of our episodes, that in 2027, we were going to have 3 candidates. I did tell you. We were going to have Ruto, the president. We're going to have Kalonzo as the candidate of the United Opposition. It has come to pass. And Raila. Unfortunately, out of
What
natural-
has come to pass? They have not chosen.
If you don't know, then I'm letting you know early enough.
Do you know about this?
I saw some posts, so I don't know.
You saw some post?
I saw some posts.
Okay, go ahead.
So, unfortunately, Raila, out of natural causes, is no longer a candidate in 2027. So, Ruto remains with still 3 issues here. That is Kalonzo and an unknown candidate. And this unknown candidate could not be in form of a person. It could be in form of an issue. And not specifically a person who is vying against him.
Are you able to expound more on an issue?
I'm explaining.
Okay.
Ruto is well known because he's the incumbent. And all over the world, 80% of recent elections have pushed incumbents home in the past 5 years.
Push them home.
Home, world over. And this is because the world is moving more into the right. Okay? People are anti-establishment. They're getting more into power. Okay? So it implies Ruto stands at a very precarious position for him to be re-elected. Then he's defined, he's well known. He's the head of government now, he's the head of state, we know what he is for. We know what he stands for. Kalonzo and the United Opposition have only one claim, and they're losing it at the point of narrative. They don't have a narrative that makes them a formidable force against Ruto.
Would you say they don't have a narrative or they're still cooking it?
They don't have a narrative. What's the narrative?
Okay, I was.
Maybe from all the politicians I've had, and this is not saying because he's here, the only person who I've had speak about something is him.
Yes.
He's talked about them and Safina Party talking about something called
Fist agenda.
Fist agenda.
The fist agenda, yes.
About finance, about at least I can hear what they're saying.
Okay.
They only need to amplify it louder. But the rest of these people are not hearing what they're saying.
Do you hear what they're saying? The United
from the
Opposition.
one term.
They are saying.
No, I really want to get it from he's an apologist of the opposition.
Okay.
Yes.
So far,
Yes.
now, the United Opposition is selling unity. Yes, up to where we are today.
What do you mean? And are you comfortable with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We have no issue with unity.
So there's no issue with unity. The country is united, save for that Kenya is a fragile marriage that we may soon talk divorce.
Yes.
But we don't go that direction. So we will have to have that discussion shortly about it. Now, because the United Opposition is not having a proper narrative, and the Kenyan elections are not won on manifestos, they're won on narratives, they stand at a point of loss because Kenyans only understand narratives,
Odhiambo.
and not manifestos.
Odhiambo.
Yes.
You know, I don't want you to brush past this issue because I think it is very important.
Yeah.
It's very important. The issue that you're talking about here is very important to me. And if you allow me, I want to ask you a little bit more question. Because in that camp, we have Kalonzo Musyoka,
Yeah.
a veteran politician. We have Wamunyoro, who is a veteran civil servant, for lack of a better word. Then we have Martha Karua, who is a veteran politician. And a few others who are also very strong. Do you think the idea of no narrative is designed, or it is just their fundamental weakness?
But of us, sorry.
Okay, yes.
From where I sit, I think they are still looking at what can we run with up to where we are today. Because what is coming out very clearly is that they are more on unity. Unity among them as principles of the opposition and uniting the communities, respective communities from where they come from. That is what is coming out clearly by now. And in my humble submission, I'm also a member of the opposition, but I don't refer to myself as the member of the United Opposition, but I'm in opposition because I'm opposed to President Ruto. In my humble submission, I would like to, even if they are watching, I would like to tell them the country is not having a problem of unity. And they must also know that what is Ruto selling? Ruto is also selling the same idea of unity. That is where the idea of a broad-based government, a government of national unity and inclusivity. So they will not be so different from Ruto by selling unity. So it will be a question of who is selling a better unity than them.
What I'm actually asking,
Yes.
Mr. Joachim,
Yes.
is that if up to this point, about just less than 24 months
Yes.
to election,
Yes.
they do not have a paper that they confront. They do not have an issue that they confront before Kenyans. They are dilly-dallying and pestering Matiang'i to join the camp. And only hitting Ruto on the things that Ruto said that he's going to do. And apparently, according to them, Ruto is not doing them. But they're not saying anything. For example, my problem with Wamunyoro is that it is very difficult to know what he's up to, what he wants to give Kenya, whether it's water, whether it's a tap flowing with milk and honey.
And that's where I come in to answer the question that Kenyans are asking themselves, actually, some around why is my party leader not joining the united opposition? Because we are the party that is not thinking just about 1 term or 2 term. Because even if it's 2 term, how will Kenyans live through that 2 term? If it's 1 term, then what happens after 2 term? After 1 term? That after we get rid of William Ruto, then what? It does not end with getting William Ruto out.
Yeah.
William Ruto is not the problem of this country. He's a beneficiary of the problem. We have a systemic problem. That even if we voted anyone in this calculation, with the systemic problem that we have, we are going to end up with the same problems under different precedent.
Odhiambo, I want to come back to you because I really like what this gentleman is saying. And there is a point you're having there that I don't want you to miss. But according to this gentleman, Joachim, and they are thinking as Safina Party, what I am hearing is that those people are squandering an opportunity because at the moment they are looking like busybodies, and you don't want to be part of busybodies. Do you think that is what he is saying?
So I'll analyze it differently. As much as I agree with him, but now let's understand why they are the way they are. Because the highest form of intelligence is understanding.
Yes.
Now, for you to understand these people, you must then understand something called the group formation stages. I think you must have studied this in communication.
Yes.
Now, in the group formation stages, we have 4 stages. One is always the forming.
Yes.
Then we have the storming.
Okay.
Then we have the norming, and then we have the functionality or the functioning of the group. So where these people are at today is still at the forming stage. They're still calling, Kuja, come, let's sit together, let's reason. Okay? That's the very first stage of group formation, because the united opposition is a group formation.
But Odhiambo, don't you think that's a bit classroom?
It's classroom.
Because if Joachim is coming out and facing, because Wamunyoro is the one that has been trying to face Ruto head on, and he's gone to before multitudes and spoken very passionately, but without any issue. Even if they, as a group, they are still forming, but as individuals, we should be able to hear.
Yes,
Kalonzo saying this.
So you asked me a question,
Yeah.
and I'm answering that question. If you asked
okay.
me about Wamunyoro independently, I would analyze him also independently.
Okay.
So now let's talk about this group. And I'm saying, for this group to function, it's still not yet at functioning. They are still at the moment of forming, which is the very initial stage. Now at forming, they're
And they've been there for a long time.
Yes. Now remember, if you want to understand even that process further, you go into the decision-making process, where we have pre-contemplation, contemplation, then decision-making. Now these guys at forming stage, they're still pre-contemplating on who do they need to have on board. Okay. That's why you see they're trying to convince my gentleman here and the party leader to join them, as much as it's very...
I don't remember. Have they made any overtures?
I think the last,
Probably.
They must be talking. They
must be talking.
Yeah. Okay.
They could be.
Because Wanjigi is very brilliant. Very. In fact, the only politician who I've ever had talk about issues of this country clearly is Wanjigi. But I don't know what is missing. Maybe our brother here will help him. But I don't know what is missing. I just feel something is missing. Now, in this forming stage, they're still at the pre-contemplation stage and a forming stage. They're still thinking, who do we need to have? Then they decide this is now who we are. Now, once they decide this is now who we are, then we move to the next stage, which is storming. You know what happens at storming?
Figuring it out.
People are measuring their tails to see who has a longer tail in the group so that they take their roles. That's why you'll hear them sending out feelers that so-and-so wants 50% of the government. So-and-so wants the deputy president. So-and-so premier. So-and-so. Wanapimana. Okay? And during storming stage, there are always fallouts. So we're going to have fallouts. And especially with the exit of Raila Odinga in the equation, that is a vacuum that somebody is seeking to occupy and has to be occupied anyway. So if ODM delays in terms of crowning a new leader, who in my view is Junior Odinga, then there's going to be a fallout here for this person to occupy this position. That is my own, I'm not saying it is the right thing. It is my own view. Okay? I can see you looking at him like, what the hell is this guy talking about? That's my own desire. Now,
And he's just quiet. He's not saying anything.
because we are civilized and we've decided to have a very civilized discussion.
Okay.
So at this storming stage, there's going to be a fallout. And I see people like Matiang'i falling out with the United Opposition.
Matiang'i?
Yes.
Okay.
I see Matiang'i joining hands with President Ruto. For this reason, Matiang'i is not a man of himself. Matiang'i is a tortoise that has been put on top of a pole. You find a tortoise on top of this table, you must know that it didn't get there alone. It was put there. And that's Matiang'i. And why? Why? Because Matiang'i is serving the interests of Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta has a business empire that is very huge that cannot survive without government. He needs stability of the government. If you remember, Raila one time said...
Stability of the government or an influence inside the government?
He doesn't need stability of the government. He needs goodwill of government.
Okay, right. That's right.
The same thing, I think.
Same thing.
The government doesn't have to be stable to have its goodwill. The country can be very unstable, but the government is protecting your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's also true. But in the larger sense, in terms of if the government is stable, then even if it doesn't have the goodwill of government, then the business environment, they can go to court.
Still,
yeah. But if the government is unstable, it means even the courts are not operational. Okay? So Uhuru Kenyatta will push Matiang'i out to join Ruto or to join the third force, whatever it will be. Okay? Which will still serve.
But the question I want to ask you about Uhuru Kenyatta and Matiang'i is looking for a bargaining chip?
Yes. Because they have to negotiate with the president.
Okay,
what I'm saying here in short is that we were talking about three issues here.
Yes.
We're talking about these candidates. I said we have Ruto, we have Kalonzo, who is clueless, doesn't know where he's going, and it doesn't have a spine. Okay? But
it's a prop. It's propped.
Yeah, it's prop. It's seemingly is the one. Actually, Kalonzo looks like you can take advantage of him very easily. Okay? And this Kalonzo guy is looking like what people are willing to go to. Because it does not have an agenda.
Can I ask Joachim one question before you go on? Joachim, Kalonzo has been called a watermelon for a long time. But this time around, it looks like he's in united opposition to stay. Do you think that he's finally smelt the butter?
In my own thinking, I think it has come to a point where he maybe realizes that I need to stand up for something because times are fleeting and moments are passing. But again, it's too early to make judgments.
Okay.
You remember at the time where Mutua from Machakos jumped from Azimio to Kenya Kwanza. It was just in the nick of time to election. And this issue of forming a coalition is not easy. You are going to deal with egos of people. You are going to deal with how do you share the resources, the positions, who among us stands a chance to defeat our opponent. And the biggest issue is why the only agreement in everybody among the opposition is that Ruto has to go home. That is one constant. It has not changed.
Yeah.
But when we get into the nitty-gritties on how now to navigate the process, everyone has their own idea. And you even remember in 2002, it was not very easy. The only difference is that NAC, the initial NAC before Raila joined, it was just Kibaki, Wamalo, and Charity Ngilu. They had already decided to chart their way forward, that even if others will come, watatupatanga tukiendelea. But when they came in and now there was a discussion of who should be the president. We had Serena talks. People did not agree to an extent that Wamalwa Kijana said, okay. Up to where we are, mimi sasa sitaki.
Attacking him.
I am not running as president.
Okay.
And Raila Odinga also says, no. I'm also not running. So you gentlemen agree on who is running because we don't have time.
So those were two people?
Yes.
Who and who? Kibaki and who?
In Serena, we had George Saitoti was also a contender. We had Nyachai. We had Wamalwa Kijana. We had Raila Odinga. Modi Awuru was there. It was a whole group of heavyweight politicians. But it took...
too long.
It took long. And some people had to say, okay...
Wacha mimi
sasa Seran.
Yes.
Nyinyi sasa amueni.
To ease in the process.
Yes, we are going to Uhuru Park and we need to give them a candidate. We can't go there and give them stories. These people will lynch us.
Yeah? Okay. Udhiambo go on. You must pass through this.
And I see kind of similar thing happening.
And remember, even just to build on that, as he's saying that, when Raila was going to Uhuru Park, he had talked with Nyachai, and it was expected that Raila would endorse Nyachai for presidency in 2002. But when he reached there and he stood to speak, he did not endorse Kibaki particularly. What he asked is, siata huyu Kibaki anatosha.
That alone.
See.
He didn't say
Kibaki tosha.
Huyu Kibaki anatosha. He asked.
Why was he asking?
So that he doesn't take a blame of people saying that you are the one who endorsed Kibaki.
But he was choosing Kibaki.
It's called plausible deniability.
Was he choosing Kibaki?
Plausible deniability.
Why did he ask? Huyu Kibaki anatosha. Mbona kuuliza Nyachai anatosha?
Plausible deniability is a strategy that you use in politics.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, so these guys in their process of storming, which we are not yet there.
We were at Nani fleeing the camp.
Yes, he's going to flee.
Yeah.
Matiang'i is going to flee. Matiang'i is a square hole in a round pole. A square pole in a round hole. It doesn't fit. And so he'll have to get out.
You see, the biggest issue, which I am thinking, is that we are at a time where politicians are finding it difficult to fit in. They are used to doing ethnic arithmetics.
Yeah.
But they are struggling because the kind of electorate that we have right now is not conforming to those arithmetics. Therefore, it forces them to think outside the box. It's a point where you need to have something to tell the people.
Yeah.
Not just some formations, because we are complaining about William Ruto not doing this. William Ruto had his own formation at that time.
Yeah.
So he had a very strong formation. And we have ended up not with a solution, but a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So if you just come with a formation and you are not coming out clearly what you want to do, then how are you different from these ones? And I think that's the biggest problem the united opposition is having.
Yeah.
The idea of what are you selling to the people? Like, for example, Maraga speaks about jailing people and the law taking center stage. Okay, who are you going to arrest first? Then who?
You need to tell us.
Then who?
You need to define it, yeah.
If you arrest one, then you have to arrest all of them. You have the president who is going to come in 2027. I feel pity for him if he doesn't have an idea. I am very sorry for him if you win in 2027 and send Ruto home, but you are clueless on what to do in that government. It will take less than 3 months and Kenyans will be saying, where we find talk.
All right. So now, from the storming, I love it very much. and that's why how I wish that we could just look beyond and narrow down these candidates to 3. And I would mention these candidates by name.
Okay.
That I'd rather we have President Ruto competing because he's the incumbent who sits at a position where he's probably going home. And then we have Wanjigi because of his economic blueprint, which is sound for me. Then we have Maraga because of his seemingly fundamentalist ideas, which need to be maybe just shaped a little bit here in Nepal. Because if you say you're going to arrest, you're going to cause instability. What you need to do is extend something called amnesty to thieves. Okay? Yeah, we were going to do it in Azimio. It was there. It was in our plan. We were going to extend amnesty. And amnesty we would tell the thieves, hey, come sit. Let's agree. You've stolen a lot of money from the country. Okay? And legally, it can take us years to fight. Even if we decide to kill each other, it is fine. But it will take us too much. It is too expensive. How about we agree? Of what you've taken, can we invest at least half of it back home? Don't put this money abroad. Let us have half of it here. And that's why Martha Karua was going to be appointed as the justice minister. You remember in the formation of Azimio, it was to basically get this money back. That's wisdom. That's negotiation. And our wish.
But when you're bringing it back home, it is still his.
Of course, but it's benefiting the people.
You see, the biggest reason why we feel more pain under Ruto than we felt under Uhuru, these people are the same. There is no difference from Uhuru and Ruto.
Is that so?
Yes. The only difference is Uhuru had his own way of PR.
Yeah.
And he has a personality, a likable personality.
But who is the engineer of Eurobond? Is it not Ruto, Uhuru?
It is.
That's why I'm telling you.
That was led by one Nancy Gitau. Not Eurobond specifically, but the political machine that Uhuru had was headed by Nancy Gitau.
What is making the government today not being able to run the social programs it should run? Why is it that education is in a problem? Lecturers are striking. We cannot find money to develop ourselves. People are on survival mode. Is because there is no circulation of money in the economy. And there is something that happened consistently from 2014 up to now that has put us in this situation. So sometimes people say, Uhuru was good. Uhuru was good because he gave good speeches. And he can dance in public and you say, this guy is a vibe. He has a different body language.
The Nilot can't dance?
He's more of a warrior. Ruto is a warrior. Anaona kudansi ni utoto. Sema pana hiyo zoezi.
The Nilot does not dance.
Unaona anafanya.
But yuko kidogo vyamo. When your president is not dancing?
Yeah, my president, I think he's a little bit rigid. But I saw him in Kisii State House. State Lodge, sorry.
He tried. He tried so much.
He tried.
To dance.
Yes, but now it was very necessary for him to dance. Because it was to try and look that he does not have a problem that he's having. The Gen Zs were so hard on him.
Yeah, because it was not very rigid. He was not a cool guy. But now he's, as you rightly place it, Uhuru was a cool guy. A thief who is very cool. Okay? And of course, robbers are loved when they're cool. Ruto was being seen as not very accommodating in terms of his outright power. He was projecting so much power. And people don't like brute force. People love softness. So even if you are a thief, just be soft. People will love you.
So
and Kenyans are like that.
Between Uhuru and Ruto is basically one.
Yeah.
Is you project yourself out there as a loving person, but you are doing some things behind the scene.
Yeah, which are dangerous.
That is making your people
poor.
One, President Ruto's problem for the last 3 years is borrowing. He learned it from Uhuru. Uhuru borrowed a lot.
Illegal borrowing.
Yes.
I want you to hear when I'm talking about illegal borrowing, because you insist that I'm a government apologist.
Yes. Illegal borrowing. That is our biggest issue.
Yeah.
If the president that he will come in 2027 will not understand this. He will not run this government. When Kibaki was taking over, handing over government to Uhuru, the total debt at that time was 1.8 trillion. Cumulatively from 1963 under Kenyatta, and then Moi, and then him as president, then he was handing it over to Uhuru. At that time, 18 or 20 shillings out of the 100 that Kenyans used to make only is the one that went to debt.
And that brings me to something.
Yes.
Where we are speaking now. Amongst the issues that I was saying Kenya needs a referendum for. Okay?
Can we go to that now?
Okay, let's go
Yes,
straight to
that's we were building on the
We're building on
conversation
it.
to go
Now,
there.
amongst the issues where I wanted us to discuss why Kenyans need a referendum for stability. Stability is on two sides and two fronts. One is on economy, and two is on politics. Okay? Now, in terms of economy, the biggest question we're dealing with is the question of debt.
Yes.
Why are we dealing with debt having rising throughout and throughout? Because in 2009, thereabout, 2013, we had the debt ceiling marked by figures that was 9 trillion shillings, marked and put in law that you couldn't borrow above 9 trillion shillings.
55% of the GDP of the country.
That then it was strictly by
Amount. Yes, I
an
remember.
amount, strictly
In
an amount. But then these cartoons in parliament today, all of them, cartoons in parliament, went in and then squashed this or quashed this and said you can now borrow a ratio of the GDP.
Yes,
and they've said
55%.
55% of the GDP.
Yes.
GDP can.
So it's a moving target.
It's a moving target.
You can't know where it is.
But finally, it affects our earning, or it
Yes.
affects our economy, how it runs. And that's why, if you look at Article 255 of the Constitution, which talks about the amendment of the Constitution, the following are the issues which can be amended by a way of a referendum. Number one is the supremacy of this Constitution. We don't have a question with that. The territory of Kenya, we don't have a question with that. The sovereignty of the people, we don't have a question with that. The national values and principles, we don't have a question with that. The bills of rights, we don't have a
Huko
question.
tulipita.
The term of office of the president, maybe, and I will tell you why. The independence, yes. Yes, I'll tell you why. Just relax. And I'll tell you why I will advocate for an increase on the presidential limit.
Surely.
Yes. And a reduction or an introduction of a prime minister's post, which is timed at 3.5 or 4 years.
We don't need
Or by a vote of no confidence in parliament.
Odhiambo wants Ruto to go on for 7 years.
I'm not saying Ruto, please. If I'm talking about the law, don't look at it in terms of a personality. That's the mistake that ODM did when we were going for the new constitution. When they said they were going for an absolute presidential system that has now landed us in the bullshit where we are in today.
No. Raila was prevailed upon by the international community so much. And I have some background story, some privilege that actually to accept the current way of governance, he had to be prevailed upon by the US government.
This is called Coons. There's this senator called Coons who flies into Kenya wherever he likes.
And he Raila called Anyang' Nyong'o and said, I accept the presidential way of governance.
Which is very wrong.
But he was not...
So why was the US having a problem with the other form of government?
Just wait, before we come there.
Yes.
Let me finish this trail of thought before I lose it.
Yes, please.
All right, people of the internet, I hope that you're enjoying this episode very much. And I just had a break to tell you about my new book. You know, everybody says that there is no job, and that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their town, in their city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs, mothers call uncles, uncles call brothers, but there are no jobs. Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them except you. I work for Americans myself. I work for Europeans. I work for the Chinese. I work for the Australians. I work for the Canadians. And so, because I have done so much for myself, I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I've been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a digital book called Goldmine 18 Hustles for Africans. And then in 2025, AI came. People say AI is taking away our jobs. And for me, I'm going to say false. There are actually AI jobs. Jobs are not being taken by AI, but there are new jobs online that are there because of AI. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. And for now, in my new book, we have 25 online and offline jobs that you can leverage on if you do not have a job. So in this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I've made and lessons I've learned over the 15 years that I have worked online. So what can you do online? You can become an executive assistant for busy folks in Europe, America, Canada, and get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. Okay? You can build a lot of things. Build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce shop without capital, be an affiliate marketer, or you can also become actually an English tutor and tens of AI jobs. If you have a job, that is fine. But I also know that you can buy this book for that brother, for that sister, for that mother, for that cousin, for that husband who is watching Netflix all day at home. Buy it for your friend who is always asking for cash. You know that friend. Now, all the information is on the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or go to my website, which is oduorjegero.co.ke.
We have the term of the president, which I said, it's a discussion on the table, which we will have as a nation. Yes. We must have it.
Yes.
And I will tell you why we must have it. Then we have the objects, principles, and structure of devolved government. Yes. We're going to review devolution.
Yes.
We need a referendum for it. We cannot afford 47 regional governments. In fact, we don't need Nairobi as a county. I'll tell you why. And then lastly, the provisions of this chapter. Now, in the provisions of this chapter, we need a referendum for it. And we need to introduce a new provision on the debt ceiling. Because if we leave it as a moving target, all these others could be left as a moving target, and people will say, it's a policy issue. They can just set the policy. It needs to be put in a referendum that for you to increase the borrowing limit, you must go for a referendum. It becomes then a political issue which you dare not touch. Because if we leave this debt issue as we're living it now,
hands of the few people.
As we're living it now, they're stealing from the debt. They're not stealing from the contracts in the country. They're stealing from the debts. And that is the first point where we are introducing a referendum. I told you, we're talking about stability of the nation. And stability of the nation does not mean presidency and whatever. Here it means what matters to us is, number one, economy. We are past political liberation journeys.
Yes.
Now we're in economic liberation. In economic liberation, we must talk about how to secure what we borrow,
yes,
and how to implement what we borrow.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And even the laws that we need to follow, yes, on what we borrow.
My approach and the approach of the party to the issue of debt,
yeah,
we are doing it in a way that it does not need a lot of noise around it.
Yeah.
The one revolutionary and very disruptive move,
Article 2.
Article 255.
Yes, is that we are not paying odious debt, illegal debts.
Now,
because
you see,
we were checking,
yeah,
under President Uhuru's tenure, and some people are saying, where were you at Uhuru's time? We are not just talking about Ruto. We are talking about Uhuru, because the only time I stopped beating Uhuru is when he made a handshake with Raila. But I had beaten him all along. And we were checking the sovereign debts,
yeah,
in his tenure of 10 years.
And perhaps it's important, it's important for us to define what's a sovereign debt.
Yes.
Because many of our audience
Yeah, you guys have been talking so much about it without explaining what these things are.
Now, when you talk about, let me just touch on it kidogo.
Yes.
If you talk about sovereign debt, Jagero, there is this term sovereign. Now, who is the sovereign?
The people.
The sovereign in Kenya is different in different governments. Now, the sovereign in Kenya is the people.
Yes.
So whoever takes a loan in the name of the sovereign, then takes a loan in the name of the people, which means the people must agree with it.
Yes.
But as current, there's no formula of the people agreeing with it, because even the formula that is existing is not being followed, and that is parliament. Who represent the sovereign.
When you refer to any debt as sovereign, it requires that the people give consent to borrowing. And who are the representatives of the people? It's parliament. So parliament has to approve
Yes.
that you borrow this amount of money. The other thing that makes it sovereign is that it has to come through the consolidated fund.
Yeah.
The only bank account belonging to the people. That money coming through that account. And it goes to the projects that benefit the people.
Yeah. Which should be itemized.
It should be itemized.
Yes.
That according to the vote head, approval of parliament, the exchequer only releases money according to those vote heads. That according to vote head 5, parliament approved borrowing for construction of Mau Rironi Road
At 221 billion.
at 221 billion. So that's the money that the exchequer releases for that particular project. So that at the end of the day, we can say, okay, we went for a Eurobond of 221 billion for Mau Rironi Road, and now we are needed to pay. Can we please see Mau Rironi Road?
And see, Joachim, when you're talking about that, I'm just remembering something, Jagero. There's this new foolery that is cropping up in Kenya by the political class, which we must put a stop to, and the sooner the better. We're talking about PPP programs.
Yes.
Now, Kenyans are paying tax, first of all. Like, for example, if you talk about tourism
Most
improvement,
brazen way of
in fact, it's now the most brazen way of stealing. You talk about tourism, you talk about transport, you talk about anything. You talk about, let me put it in context. Today, Kenyans are paying fuel levy, right?
Yes.
Any motorist who pays for fuel, like you pay fuel levy. What is fuel levy? It is money that is held in a particular account for particular developments.
Yes.
There's road maintenance levy as well.
Yes.
You pay so much. Actually, half
52% of
Yes.
your petrol price
cost is tax
taxes.
and levies.
Really?
Yes. And then you're told again,
52%?
yes.
Yes, it's taxes.
That's too high.
That's too high. Then you're told, from now for you to use Mau Summit Road, which is going to be constructed afresh through PPP, you have to pay some money. So,
at the infrastructure,
explain for me in a minute what it implies that I pay taxes that should be going to construct a road, but then you found an investor who has money more than the government and is more than the
government
and is willing to build this road. Then you pay him for 27 or 30 years. Then after he's done collecting the money, then he goes away and leaves the road. 27, 30 years.
I hear from
that
here
road is
to
done.
Nakuru is
Did you
going to be
know?
3,000.
They're saying it is 890, which I doubt, because
did you
even
know?
The Rironi Road is going to where?
Rironi, unaona ukimaliza nini? Ukimaliza, is it called Uhuru Highway?
Okay.
If ukimaliza hiyo barrier, that's Rironi. So it's at Rironi, through Limuru, ukienda mpaka Mau Summit. Unajua Mau penye na branch yao tukienda Kisumu.
Going to
Kisumu, then one goes to Eldoret.
Oh, there.
Huko. So it's a very long road.
So that is Mau.
That is Mau
Mau
Huko.
Rironi Road.
It's a double road.
Yeah, it's a dual.
It's a dual.
It's a dual car.
When is it opening?
They're saying they want to construct it for 1 year or 2 years. I don't know. I'm not
Oh,
certain.
so it's not constructed yet, right?
No.
It's still in the process. Now, actually, it's when they want to initiate it. And
Is
it's a foolery.
it the one that Uhuru denied Ruto denied the French company because of the high cost?
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's foolery. It's big foolery. Because you're telling me that somebody has more money than the government and is willing to build that, then he operates it for 27 years or 30 years or 50, whatever number of years it is. Then hand it back to the government when it is dilapidated, because roads normally take between 10 to 25 years.
And again,
Then you're going to repair.
On that same aspect of PPP, do you know that a very huge chunk of land in Galana Kolalu has been leased to a Dubai farm
Yes.
for 99 years?
Yes, that I know. I don't know whether the Yamu knows about it.
I'm hearing for the first time here.
Yeah, it is. I made a video about it at Political Headache.
We are
actually.
a country that are behaving like a very poor man. You know, a poor man would lease his land to some guy somewhere.
I agree.
Apande miwa mara
I
nne,
agree.
instead of using this land for his own benefit.
It happens in our home. I see it. Somebody has an acre of land, then they rent it for 8,000 in a year.
And that person comes in Nairobi.
At our place is less.
Yes.
Look at that. I agree with you.
So we are
It's dirty
a
business
country
going on.
behaving like a very poor man.
Yeah.
So
But
we
we
have
have the
least, but we have the money. And when we did our calculations as the pattern, we looked at the monies that we are borrowing, if we even need it. You will realize that during budget making process, even
Can we have that calculation and political headache? Ama it is only for Safina to
no, we
play
can have
politics.
it. We can have it. We can have it. That's why I'm talking. We can. That's why I am talking about it here. You realize that during the budget making process, even when the minister comes to present the budget estimates and the parliament, you realize that they do not present revenue estimates.
Yes.
They only present expenditure estimates.
Which is illegal.
And they only tell you that according to our projected estimates, we are going to borrow like 1 trillion shillings. But they have not told you how much is the estimated revenue, and they have not put it in the budget.
Yeah.
We look at the calculations and realize that as we speak today, domestic debt alone is 6.2 trillion.
Domestic debt, that means they borrowed from local banks.
Yes. And the other day, we were my party leader was talking about it, that in the last financial year, the top 10 most profitable institutions, 8 of them are banks.
The CEOs are running 200 million, 300 million in a year.
And the other one is a brewery, and the other one is a Safaricom. So the question is, how do banks make money? A bank makes money by loaning it to people to accrue interest so that it can pay its shareholders.
Yeah.
So Kenyans are complaining about the hard economic system. They cannot afford loans. We are talking about non-performing loans accruing to almost 600 billion. So, which means Kenyans are not taking loans.
Yeah.
But somehow banks are making money.
And that is why, Joachim, in the Article 255
Yes.
must be amended by way of a referendum to introduce the clause of borrowing set at a specific limit and open for review by specific standards or specific times. Because if we don't anchor it and push it to popular initiative,
Yes.
then these guys will borrow endlessly and choke us. Because right now we are saying we are using 70 shillings
It's not
of our money.
70,
Is how much a day?
It's 82 shillings.
Now it has gone to 82, which means you're only remaining with the
18 shillings.
18 bob to pay salaries and for development.
Do you know how much money is used to pay salaries by government?
I don't know.
As we speak right now, government is using 980 billion
That's per year.
per year. And
Which means we cannot even sustain the
We
salary.
cannot sustain
we
salary.
cannot pay salary.
the amount
Do you hear
of
that,
money,
Jagero? That we cannot pay salary. The government cannot pay
we
salary.
cannot, according to our own revenue.
Which means we are borrowing to pay salary.
Yes, according to the internal revenue streams that we have,
Jesus Christ.
we cannot even pay salaries to the government staff.
Now,
The 18 shillings that we are using
Yeah.
is the one we were using when Uhuru was getting power. It is the one that we were using to pay debt. So we had 82 shillings to
Going
pay
away.
salaries.
no, we had 18 shillings to pay salaries.
Yeah, at that time, 18 shillings
Was what we were
the one
paying.
to pay debt.
Okay, which was
So the
what
country
Kibaki
remains
left.
with 82 shillings.
Yes, which was fair enough.
Fair enough to pay salaries, government operations and all that. Today, we are remaining with 18 shillings. The amount of money you are going to be taxed in 2027, Uhuru borrowed it in 2016. He already used it.
So then, my suggestion is this.
Yes.
And that's what I was telling Jagero, that this conversation about referendum is not just about empty politicking every day.
Yes.
This is about the economy. So let's sort first the issue of the debt as introducing it as JK, syllable K, under Article 255(1). Let's introduce the public debt. Then number 2, let's introduce a parliamentary system in Kenya. Because presidential system is the mother of all our problems. And no matter how bad we want to run away from it, we must go parliamentary for this reason. That for the last 20 to 30 years, the stability of the nation has been guaranteed by one man who is now deceased, Raila Amolo Odinga. He has been compromising after every other election. And you realize the trend is sustainable, that after every 2 years of every government getting into power, they were running into serious problems every 2 years. And they had to call for either from internal strife or from external strife. Like in 2018, you remember, it was internal strife, which means the regime itself, the ruling party, the infighting was too big that they saw that if this person decides to walk out, whoever they were fighting with decides to walk out, that I think it's Ruto, then it could be a mess. So they brought in Raila. Now, Raila has been the guarantor of the state. Okay? He has been the guarantor of the stability. Now that Raila is dead, then we must now talk about bringing...
What do you mean by guarantor of the state?
Guarantor of the state in terms of guaranteeing the peace. That's why you call him Baba. Guaranteing everything that the state has in terms of its continuity. It was pegged on Raila being alive. Now that he has exited, we must open a new chapter. Because, as I started to say, Kenya is a marriage too fragile that if we are not careful, we are going to talk divorce very soon. Dealing with Raila was predictable and was sustainable because we knew how to handle him. But now we don't know, remember, this third person. Did you remember me telling you that? This third person,
Wanjigi.
It could be Wanjigi or it could be an issue.
It's a combination of the two.
You'd rather deal with a person than an issue. But from what I'm seeing in this country today, it's most probably going to be an issue as a third issue or as a third runner in 2027 elections. Which means whether Ruto wins or whether a person or a dog wins in 2027, this one is the problem. And that's why I was saying it will be
3 months away.
It will be unfortunate.
Yes.
It will be unfortunate
You can't
that you win. It will be unfortunate that you win as a president, then you don't know what to do. So then the issue comes to play.
I want you to imagine.
Yes.
William Ruto has lost election. And Kenyans will feel like now this very heavy yoke that has been on our shoulders is now off.
Now
Next? This new president is going to do wonders. But the president that has come in is also clueless.
Yeah. He's also wondering.
He's also wondering now.
Nifanye nini?
Chenye tulikuwa tunataka kufanya kabisa.
Nimeshafanya.
Sasa ndio hiyo ofisi. What do we do? Waanze kugamble tena, wafanye vitu similar ama same to what Ruto was doing.
Or worse.
Bwana, they will not last in office.
Because they will not last in office because there is already proof of evidence or proof of concept that the people can push a president out of office.
Yes.
And they put you in office after pushing another one out.
Yeah.
They will push you faster than they waited for the last one. Or you're going to be very brutal for you to maintain. And your brutality is not going to last like Samia. It's going to be short-lived, then you're out. Okay? Now, that said, Jagero, that brings me to the point of then understanding. How then do we need to move? Now, we must separate the following powers. We must separate the powers of a president from the powers of a prime minister. Now, the powers of a president from the powers of a prime minister, that means already, in my view,
Yes.
we have had a referendum and probably it should be 2027. And if Ruto is brilliant, he should listen to me.
Now we cannot.
We can.
See, the issue is
We can.
The thing we are saying. I had a discussion.
Yes.
There's a time we had a discussion.
You see, before you answer that question, I am thinking that the biggest mover of a referendum is usually the government. Correct?
No. No. It's usually the people.
The people led by someone very strong.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I get it.
So I have had discussions with all these candidates who want to be president. And I sat with one of them. And we were having a discussion and we talked about Ruto so much and what Ruto is doing bad. And now it was time to talk about him and his agenda. So when we got to his agenda now, he went slow.
He doesn't have one.
So when I saw him struggling to say what he wants to do, I brought up my party leader's agenda. And I said, no, look, the biggest question we have is an economic problem.
Yeah.
Akasema, yes, it's about the economy. But now, how do we solve the economic problem? I think debt is something that we need to address. Akasema, but that's something that Kenyans don't care about. Hiyo ni porojo, hiyo sijui nini. Akasema, but look, Kenyans will care about debt if we talk to them this way. That as government borrows a lot, and especially locally, it is taking away credit from the people. It is making life more expensive for the people. In a way that the source of income for the people is not also enough for them.
Yeah.
So it makes these people also survive on debt in their own individual capacity. That you earn 25,000 shillings a month, but it does not sustain you throughout the month. Rent alone is eating almost half because you have 3 children. You can't stay in a single room,
bedroom or even 2
or a 1 bedroom. You need, and you are always away from the house. You need a house manager.
Yeah, so you need 3 bedroom.
Yes.
Basically.
So rent alone is eating almost half. So for you to survive through the month, at the end of the month you realize uko na deni ya 8,000. Ukishalipwa 25, unalipa 8,000, unasukuma ikifika tarehe 5, you start borrowing again. And because things are still piling, next month unajipata umekopa 9,000. Ikiendelea namna hiyo, every mwezi ikiisha, deni ni almost half what you are earning.
Yeah.
Imetoka juu that the government is borrowing so much, it has now got to the people. So when I explained like that, now it started clicking in his mind. Akasema, natuko na kazi mingi. Akamwambia, if we don't solve an economic problem, even if we win,
2027.
and that is what Jimmy Wanjigi said at the launch of PLP party. Akasema, hii mambo inakula hii nchi. Hata sisi tukipigiwa kura bila kudeal na hii issue,
But itakuwa.
hawa watu watasema tuende within 3 months. And I hope they understand.
They don't understand.
I hope they do.
So Odhiambo,
Yeah.
who is going to instigate this referendum?
You and me.
The guy, no, but Joachim has said with the people led by a very powerful.
Mamdani was a nobody 1 year ago in New York City. Today, Mamdani is the mayor. I want us to believe in ourselves and to move the wheel, because why are we living into people? We are the ones who can see this thing. Let's talk about it.
Najua.
Because we need to do it.
Under Raila Odinga,
Yeah.
we had hii ujinga ya kusema, na mbona Raila hajaongelea?
Yeah.
Tukafika mahali kitu ikifanya na Omutata amenyamaza tu. Ikifika mahali hii Boniface Mwangi, it has come to a point where you don't wait.
Don't wait. We will initiate it, whatever it takes.
So Joachim is suddenly agreeing with you.
Nobody has been agreeing with me.
About
No,
the referendum.
I'm saying hypothetically speaking,
Yeah.
if we have to go
That direction.
this direction, and
So we will have a referendum before the elections.
No,
if
at the
we-
election.
At the election,
Yeah,
it's
you
one
can
of
vote.
the things.
You can vote twice.
Wow!
Yeah, we can.
Wow!
Vote twice.
We have an
You
additional
choose
ballot.
yes. You vote, either you support
or
the
not.
referendum or
Or
not,
not.
and you vote your leaders.
Yeah.
So that it
Oh,
minimizes.
that is amazing.
Yeah, because if we're talking about introducing a parliamentary system or a hybrid system, we're talking about having a prime minister who is the head of government.
Yes.
Why?
So Ruto, whoever wins,
So the prime minister is not voted in. The
He's
prime minister
chosen from
is chosen
the
from
majority.
coalition in parliament. Because as you can see, from 20...
are we strong enough politically
Yes.
or to deal with it?
Yes. Kenya's democracy is the most mature in East Africa. If not,
Obviously.
If not in Africa.
Obviously,
We are the only people who have...
it is becoming too obvious
Yeah.
But
that
anyway,
we are the strongest.
when you have
So-
one eye
Yeah.
in a land of the blind,
Yeah.
you are king.
Of course, still you are king. The point is you are king. So...
Why you? What is going
He's
on?
chiding us, but I'm telling you, we're still king. Yeah, he's chiding us.
Chiding the what?
He's chiding us as
East
Kenyans.
Africa.
Yes, and saying that we are one-eyed
But
people.
surely, but surely,
amongst a
but
blind East
surely,
Africa.
but
This
surely,
guy.
yeah, but surely, look. If you look at what has just happened in Tanzania,
Yes.
where somebody has cooked 31 million votes, cooked.
So I was thinking about it.
So Joaquin, we will talk about. I am happy. You are seeing the sense of us having a prime minister to stabilize the government.
No, I'm not happy with that. No.
issue of stability
It's not clear to me.
cannot be brought by all these arrangements.
It can be brought.
Look at
And I can
look
explain.
at-
The reason that's why I'm saying that this issue will help us achieve stability is, and I want to persuade you to understand my point of view. Every time Kenya has gone into turmoils, political turmoils, it has been because of the presidential question, where one winner takes it all. And now we have moved to a situation where, as much as the one winner was taking it all and could talk to the opposition, now we don't have somebody to talk to in the opposition. And what we need is to then institutionalize stability of the nation.
Do you realize that even Raila's attempt to bring stability with Ruto slightly fell short?
It did. And that's my point. That then,
Do you know why it slightly fell short?
educate me then.
Because people did not feel like this arrangement will solve the problems
And
that
that's-
we are talking about.
and that's exactly my
Raila
point.
Odinga,
Yeah.
before every handshake he made, in an attempt to stabilize the country, he used to talk about some issues that at the time of a handshake, they are swept under the carpet. Then something else comes up. We talk about an agenda that has come up out of that handshake. Then it is not implemented along the way. Then the same issues emerge. We go back to talking about them. The easiest way to bring stability, ndugu yangu, is attend to issues raised by people. Just to say, why do we have a lot of young people showing up in the CBD to protest? As they protest, what are they saying? It's because they are working so hard and they are not seeing fruits of their labor.
You know what I'm agreeing with you, my brother, is
Yes.
that, yes, we need to deal with the issues. My question here is not about the issues. My question here is a political question, because to deal with the issues, we must first handle the politics. Now, if we handle the politics, because the president will come and be, let's say we have a president who is very good, who has prioritized the youth, who has ensured that the youth issues are handled significantly or substantially and everything. Then another president comes in and deprioritizes whatever the other president said, because it is not institutionalized, because he's all powerful. That's what I'm saying. Tukate him kati. And we tukubaliane, somebody deals with half, the remaining half is in parliament.
Mimi,
And in this-
my thought will be,
Yeah.
we deal with redefining the role of government.
And now, what does that look like for you?
Right now, the government is in everything. One, the government is making profit, which should not be the case. The government should only be involved in business through quality checks, facilitation, licensing, ensuring there is security, securing the borders of the country. But the government must not do business. I think we should now check the structure of government and its role, and maybe institutionalize that and say a government must never, even to an extent, do you know, even building a football stadium kama hii Talanta, it should be done by private sector. That the government should provide an environment where you as...
So the government, absolutely, in your view, should only remain regulators.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now, be that as it may, still, we must go for a referendum even to achieve that.
Okay.
Because to change the structure of governance, and because that's fundamentally going to affect the structure of governance, we must redefine how do you want to change it as it is today. And that's what I'm saying. They're going to need a prime minister in parliament. Because parliamentarians, as they are today, number one, don't understand what policy is about. They don't understand what the people want. They don't know. And for those who know, they're mute because they've been cajoled by the noisy ones who are normally brainless. Okay? Now, in my suggestion, because I see we need to go as well. In my suggestion, let's have a prime minister and a president, a hybrid system. Because some people will be afraid, you want to give a prime minister all the power and a president, what is the role of a president then? The prime minister becomes head of government. The president remains head of state. Now, the two are different. The state is the organization that ensures that the country relates well within itself and outside. The government is the organization that ensures that coordination and effectiveness of operations within the government remains, or even within the state. So government straddles coordination between the state and the government itself. Now, what departments fall in each other's fray? One, in my thinking, and this is a suggestion, it does not mean I'm all knowing, because there's some people who always in this internet they say, know it all, man. I don't know nothing. I'm just thinking. Just that we're having a bad talk that is recorded.
Yes.
Now, the prime minister, of course, is the head of government. Then the president remains head of state. The prime minister chairs the cabinet. Okay? So which means upon appointing his cabinet members, he must take them to the president for consent to proceed. Because the president is the final guarantor.
Yes.
It is happening in Israel. The president handles foreign policy because that's a diplomatic issue. So it means diplomacy is not within the prime minister's realm. It remains with the president. Legislation remains within the prime minister's, because the prime minister is the one to table government agenda in parliament.
Yes.
Okay? The president remains with constitutional affairs.
So let me ask.
Yeah. Move closer to the mic.
Let me ask you the way...
The last one is that prime minister handles budget and the president handles government formation. And I said that the prime minister appoints, then he goes to the president and the president assents. With this, we are sure that in any case, the coalition or parliament passes a vote of no confidence in the prime minister, then these key operations are affected. And of course, the state is also partially affected.
Before we finish, let us look at our current political structure
As it is today.
And let's assume now we are looking for a prime minister who is supposed to be elected from to be the majority leader, head of majority.
Yeah, the head of the majority or the head of the coalition.
Yes, becomes the prime minister. Then who will be prime minister today?
I'm not looking at people. In any case,
No. I'm looking at people.
I'm not going to go hypothetical for one reason.
You know why?
Not.
You know why?
Yeah, why are you looking
This is the same question Ruto asked at Bomas when we were discussing the BBI. And he said, at that time he said, now...
And I agree with Ruto then, and I still agree with him now.
Say, now, let's assume Sasa Uhuru ni rais. Majority leader at that time alikuwa nani? Amos Kimunya.
Yeah.
Akuwe prime minister. Sijui nini. Una realize kwamba at the end of the day, hata kama leo tungekuwa na hiyo formation, Ruto angekuwa tu na prime minister yake.
Now, there's a difference though. That the prime minister must not absolutely be an appointee of the president. He's not an appointee. He's an elected member of parliament. Okay? Or is elected.
Yeah, he could be an elected member of parliament.
Yes, or he could be an outsider, but who has been elected by parliament. An outsider in terms of he's not a parliamentarian.
No. He has to be a parliamentarian.
Let's say he's a parliamentarian, okay? Now, coalitions, from 2007, from 2002, Kenya has shown us consistently that our elections have been made successful because of coalition building. And remember, even in the register of political parties, there is even the provision of coalition document depositing. Now, if our democracy has matured to that extent, it means that in parliament, we are going to have many parties. These parties just need to form a coalition that then produces the The prime minister. And these coalitions could disintegrate. And once the coalition disintegrates by a party pulling out of the coalition, it means then the coalition loses mandate. And the prime minister automatically loses mandate. And we have to go for a fresh election in parliament. So that in case there's an issue of governance, we don't point at the president, because the president is dealing with issues of the military,
administration and all that.
the military is dealing with foreign policy, he's dealing with constitutional affairs and government formation. He's not handling the cabinet issues. The cabinet issues are handled by a prime minister. So this suggestion, my brother, is what, in my view, will guarantee political stability. And maybe
I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, please look at
further.
it. And maybe it's something that Nani can check at your party leader, because I think you guys are proactive in terms of solving Kenyan issues. Thank you. Good.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. Of course, Jagero has gone away. He's gone for a meeting. You'll forgive him for that. We've been here hanging out with SG, Joachim Simiu.
Will be Nakuru
Yes, on the 8th
on the 8th.
of November.
You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, Joachim is the Secretary General to the
Safina Party.
Safina Party. I don't know why Sifuna is in my head. The Safina Party.
I am the Sifuna of Safina.
You're yes, exactly. That's a brilliant one. You're the Sifuna of Safina. And of course, the only party, in my view, which has the most sound policies in terms of the economic recovery. Please don't forget to subscribe to Political Headache so that you get alerts whenever we are discussing. You're allowed to disagree with us. It's politics. And as we always say, opinion is the lowest form of knowledge. Everybody has one. You can share yours. We're only sharing
ours.
About talk. It's just our discussion.
And also, I remember Moi one day saying,
yes.
Nitakuwa mjinga kudhani kwamba nyinyi nyote mnanipenda.
Yes. So, of course, we know not all of you will, of course, love some things that we say, but we welcome you to rise above and agree that we can have a discussion even in our disagreement. This has been Political Headache. I'm your co-host, Odhiambo Otieno. Thank you.
Thank you for now.